Oh man, dude, that's a great price for that. 8 hours left. Wow. Dude, I've wanted that thing forever. Oh, even with the posters? That is sick. Alright. I'll put a bid in. Oh, I gotta sign in. Damn, I hate these things. I hate technology. Oh, come on, I got 30 seconds. Come on. There's one other asshole. Damn it, I got outbid. Quick. Go. Sweet. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What? What do you mean I lost? Oh, get the fuck out of here. No. Damn it. Okay. Can't fucking believe I lost that. What's up, man?
What's up?
I'm a little pissed.
Why?
Well, I was bidding for this Beyond tin. You know, like, you remember those things, right? And I was bidding on it, and fucking like last second, I got outbid. Like, I hate fucking eBay.
Uh-huh. Well, dude, sorry to break it to you, but I kind of won that 10.
Are you serious? Dude, you have every other fucking movie under the sun. You actually have like 3 versions of that movie. Why the hell do you need that?
Well, I know, but I'm a collector, dude. Just like you. You want to come over and see it when it arrives, at least?
Yeah, actually, I think I do.
Dude, sorry, man. You know, you snooze, you lose, so, you know. You know I'm a Fulci fan. Alright. Later, dude. Bye.
Yeah. It was mine, not his. It was mine, not his. They fucked up. He fucked up. I'll make him pay. Yes, I will. I'll make him pay.
It's gotta be asshole. Well, I guess that's me. Alright. Shit, I've been waiting. Pretty shitty wrapping job, I must say. That's ridiculous. Oh! Whoa! Shit! Dude, what's up, man?
I drunk already?
Dude, no, I'm getting there. Dude, it's here. Yeah.
I got to see this.
Fuck, let's do it. Dude, cold as shit outside.
I
Man.
cut.
Oh, dude, can you shut the door?
Yeah.
Cold as shit out there, man.
I ain't kidding, I had to walk here.
Freezing my baguettes off here, Clark.
Alright.
Alright, you ready for this shit?
Yeah.
Alright. Get some lights on in here. Somewhere. Well, it's all fair love and war, dude. Yeah, man, it's a shame somebody had to lose, but dude, you know, all it's fair love and war, yeah?
Yeah, I get you.
You've been here in a while, have you?
No.
Seen the place I
I
set it up a little bit?
I do remember this.
Pretty cool. Alright, here we go. Whoa! Actually arrived pretty early. I thought it was gonna take longer. That shit. Dude. I really did. But you know what a Fulci fan I am, dude. I had to to.
Yeah, well, what do you think?
Isn't that cool though?
How do you think I felt?
Look at all those cards.
Why don't you even open the damn things?
Well, it might be a collector's item. And in fact, it is a collector's item. That's why everyone wants it. Look on the back. It's like limited. Something like, what is it? 2000? 20? Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's actually a Maniac one too, which is pretty badass as well.
You know, someday I'll get this. Someday.
Dude, if I ever see it, I'll totally snag it for you. I promise.
Someday I'll get this.
Yeah, dude, totally. We cool though? Well, it's unfortunate, dude.
It was mine. It was mine the entire time. You know it. I know it. It was mine. Yeah, that's right. Ah, you son of a bitch. It was mine. And now, it's mine. Told you it'd be mine.
Where's my tin? It's mine.
Man. Alright, not like this movie's gonna go anywhere now. Whew. Cut.
That's better. Seems darker in here. I had a light on. Oh well, adds to the atmosphere. Alright, oh, it's the best part. Love this scene. never gonna get it! You're never gonna get it!
Fuck you! First run! I got my chin. Welcome back to Descent into Horror.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 6, 6.
Ready?
Yeah. What is going on, Boils?
That really sucked.
You son of a bitch.
What is going on, guys? We are Descent into Horror Hell. We are back, finally.
For the 50th time.
Big 5-0, dude.
God damn. It's been
Dude, it's
50
been a long
episodes.
time, man.
That's a milestone for a show like us.
That deserves a cheers.
And you know what? We honestly don't give a shit if anybody's ever watched the first 49 as long as you watch the 50th.
Right on.
We got
But if you did, we appreciate you.
We got one hell of a show for you. We're going to be doing a Fulci tribute. Of course, the late great Lucio Fulci.
Godfather goer, man.
And we're going to do that. We're going to do some recent watches. We're going to do another episode of Planets Collide. So
Should be a fun time. Stick around, guys.
Let's get it.
We are
Cheers.
back.
Woo! What's going on, boils and ghouls? Welcome to the 50th episode. The old school episode, as anybody remembers. This is a monumental episode, not just because it's number 50, but because this is the first show we've ever done at Skidgore's House of Horror.
Yeah, man.
Usually it's always at whatever apartment I'm living in at the time, which now I think I'm on my third.
I lost count, man, after like 3.
So this is the first one that Skidgore's ever hosted. So that for the 50th, man.
Yeah, we wanted to make it special, and like I said on the last, if you watched our Halloween show, it does get kind of difficult, living so far apart now, but we're going to make it happen. Yeah, we're going to make it happen, and do one here. Next show will be probably his pad, and then vice versa. So we're going to try to get into that kind of groove,
Do what we can. We figure it's probably going to be about every other month. We kind of figured that.
Yeah.
The every month thing is hard because schedules change.
See, when we started this show like 8-9 years ago or whatever, like we didn't really have like any responsibilities. We were just fucking dumb horror fan kids, dude.
That work second shift jobs that could stay up till 4, 5, 6 in the morning.
Yeah, but now we're kind of like older men and.
Morning, dickhead. Hello, moron. What are you, Never mind. Just forget it. Who's the guy yakking at your door? Just mind your own business, will you? Mind your own business, will you? Mind your own business. Why don't you tie your shoelace? You'll fall on your stupid head.
Kind of got more responsibilities with jobs and, relationships and shit. So it kind of gets hard to get together. And of course, like I said, being that far away. But when it does, it's magic, man. And that won't stop for sure.
Well, not yet anyways. We'll see.
No roadblocks yet.
So we're going to start off going back to one of our favorite sections, which has been going on for quite a while now, is recent watches.
Oh, I was going to say, it's got to be recent watches.
So we each, if you don't know, each of us are going to pick a movie here and talk about it. It's kind of a recommendation on our part. So
Shoot, man. What you got?
I am going to do 2012's the infamous unknown Lucifer Valentine's Black Metal Veins.
Way to bring the mood down, Ghoul. Like
you
want vomit?
Yeah, you want. Well, this one doesn't really have. I mean, it does kind of.
Anything with Lucifer Valentine, you're gonna have some vomit.
So this one kind of takes a weird, different approach. So this one takes a story, kind of a documentary style, which a lot of his films are very documentary style-esque based.
Oh yeah.
That realism snuff type feel, and this follows 5 people. I guess they're friends. They kind of know each other through, I guess, the drug line.
Yeah, I was gonna say the drug connection.
And you know, they're kind of jovial druggies at that time. You know, they discuss their addictions to meth and heroin and cocaine.
Yeah. Really hard drugs.
Oh yeah. So basically, it starts off with, you know, they're all kind of normal. They're having fun. It's like life of the party all the time. And as you kind of go through this movie, what he does is he kind of breaks it almost off into like 4 or 5 separate parts and talks like you know, they talk about their history and where they came from, you know, having good families or came from a broken home, whatever it was. Thanks, Binky. Yes, we do have Binky. She's might chime in every now and again. So yeah, they kind of break off and talk about their lives and their histories and things like that. And then they show them partying, doing drugs. And it's one of those movies, so if anybody's ever seen Requiem for a Dream, it's that.
The killer refrigerator.
It's basically that, like, times 100.
And mixed some black metal.
And it is the black metal veins. I can't remember his name. I wish I knew. But he's in a black metal band, and they kind of do these cutaways. And the band's playing their music, and like you were saying, it sounds like Vlad Tepes type stuff.
Or Mutilation or something really raw black metal.
Yeah, and they put that as like kind of between all the scenes. Every now and again, the camera work is really well done. I really like how they do the slow motion stuff. Very trippy at times.
Yeah.
And you know, eventually, one by one, you see how bad drug addiction gets. It's kind of almost a documentary of like
that chick with the abscess on her
elbow
so bad. Or whatever.
It's under her armpit.
Yeah,
It's so bad.
That's just
you know, and obviously, like a Lucifer Valentine film, I mean, there's puking and like the one girl who basically films herself having sex. She's almost like a prostitute in a way. Like she's almost kind of doing that to get drugs.
Yeah.
It is a very I almost thought it'd be one of those movies you play in like health class to scare kids straight. Because
you know what's funny? When you told me you were doing this movie, the only thing I could think of is they should show this movie to every fucking school in America and beyond.
Yeah.
Just to say,
drugs are bad. You shouldn't do drugs. If you do them, you're bad. Because drugs are bad, okay?
Mr. Mackey, put this movie on. No, I mean, really, it does such a really good job of character study, in a way, because the realism, for one.
Yeah, definitely.
And just the fact that it shows them in a light where, when they go reflect on their lives, you could tell they definitely embraced who they were. But like the drugs just doesn't allow, they at that time they're having more fun getting high than they, the history and past doesn't matter.
Very depressing.
It is a depressing film, for sure.
Definitely not for everybody.
But yeah, if you ever want to check out like the Vomit Gore trilogy, Regurgitated Sacrifice, I know, Slow Puke, Torture Puke Chamber.
What a title.
Yeah.
Slaughter Vomitals.
But yeah, Lucifer Valentine, good luck ever knowing who that guy is. Nobody knows. But he definitely makes movies that make you think. And this was definitely one of them. So check out Black Metal Veins. Unearthed Films released this Blu-ray.
Stephen Barrow.
So definitely, if you're into that stuff, like I said, it's
very horrible look at junkie life.
Yeah.
Mixed with some badass black metal.
Yeah. So there you go. All right.
And I am the person with the talent of doing this.
Fucking dominating the fucking Christian church, crushing it, putting our throne high above the skull of God, It's just black fucking metal.
Skid Gore, what do you got?
Well, I'm gonna kind of cheat here.
Yeah, 4-for-1 deal.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess you can kind of blame Moss or Hooded Menace or Necrophagia or whatever, Been on a big Blind Dead kick.
As you should be.
Yeah, dude, this is such a badass set. I mean, you got Tombs of the Blind Dead.
Original, classic.
Yeah, dude, I remember the first time I saw this, I just couldn't believe the atmosphere of this movie, of all these movies, really.
Yeah.
They just put you in that atmosphere with the fog, and of course the Templars riding across the countryside on
And
their
the slow
horses.
motion.
Yeah,
like,
the slow
yeah,
motion
it's just-
shots. Unbelievably, definitely never been surpassed. All these Tombs of the
Like
Blind
the fact,
Dead.
that, like the scene from this one when she's like in that barn, and
Yeah.
they're like they can't see her obviously, but like the close-ups of her eyes and just how creepy that was.
The whole thing with the Templars having their eyes burned out so they could never find their way back from hell.
Great
Making
concept.
the pact with Satan and coming back, whether it's through because on Return of the Evil Dead is interesting too, because they come back because there's like the centennial. It's like a celebration of when the Templars were killed, and they come back just for that, just for revenge, which is really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And they start killing all the town folk and just, dude, seriously, some of the kills are great. Not over the top, but for its time in the 70s. Definitely get some good gore groceries in these movies, and I just can't get over the look of the Templars. They got the hoods on there, and then they got their beards, and they're just they get on their horses and ride across.
They definitely were original. That's for sure.
Very original concept. Amando Diasorno,
And I always love the overdub, like that.
especially
so
when the sword
overdub.
goes into the human flesh, like so over the top.
It's so like Flower, Flesh, and Blood with the.
Not that bad. Like when the head hits the. Not that bad, Ghoul. Come on.
I know.
Amando Diasorno, such a visionary when it came to horror. The Ghost Gal, I know a lot of people give it shit because of
I love that
the
one.
flames going over the sails, obviously, of a toy boat.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
Yeah.
great. But when they're actually on the ship, when they're on the galleon, that is some great atmosphere on that. That's a great set.
That's Horror of the Zombies as well. That also known as Horror of the Zombies.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the thing with these, like the last one, Night of the Seagulls. Like,
Night of the Seagulls, yep.
yeah,
They all got different
alternate
titles. Yeah.
I always thought that name was so funny for a movie.
It's the Night about Manitowoc.
Night of the Seagulls. Yeah. Shit on your car.
Yeah. These are just such a great... I know they got re-released a couple Blu-rays, but I love this set. You also get a Amando Diasorno director disc with it, and you also get this really cool booklet. Learn more about the
and
films.
in the coffin box, which is
Yeah,
even,
man.
Like
The
I said,
coffin box.
There's something about I think certain releases that like you can't beat. Like when the Coffin Joe box that came out.
Yep.
Got
Got that up there
big
somewhere.
coffin. Like it's you can't. I think those fit these releases so well.
If you're a horror YouTuber and you go look at other people's collection, this always stands out on most people's shows. You can always spot this, and very rightfully so. It's a great set to have. But if you just want to watch them, just get them individually. That's great too. Just celebrate Amando Diasorno's Blind Dead trilogy, like this whole collection.
Quadrilogy.
Quadrilogy. It's just a great collection. Great Spanish horror. Can't beat Amando Diasorno's The Blind Dead.
Yep. No, all right. And Black Metal Veins. If I got to pick this up now, by Lucifer Valentine. All these you can still get. This box set really isn't that expensive.
I don't know. Never checked.
It's. I mean, I think I got mine for like $50.
Oh, you have this too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got this years ago, man.
So I mean, you can still find them if you go like eBay and stuff like that. This you can still pick up. I picked this off that MVD sale.
Oh, okay.
Who distributes all the Unearthed stuff? So
Yeah.
you can definitely find this stuff. So yeah, Black Metal Veins.
In Tombs of the Blind Dead collection. Definitely some great recent watches for y'all. We shall return.
With Lucio Fulci. Cheers.
Well, Mr. Dobbs, this is our official coroner mortician. What would you say the cause of death was?
What's going on, guys? guys? Welcome back to Descent into Horror Hell. Now, unfortunately...
We do the sad part of the show.
Yeah, we want to get the sad shit out of the way so then we can celebrate later. But David J. Skull, he was definitely a mind for horror and classic monster movies.
Yeah, for sure.
Primarily the Universal monster canon, you know.
Yep.
I learned about him in his books a long time as a youngster, growing up, learning about. Definitely, he was one of the first guys to bring like Todd Browning, Lon Chaney.
In this day and age, to life.
To me, at least. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there was Alan Frank and other authors too.
Ones, yeah.
But David J. Skull, he seemed like a pretty cool guy. He would always be in a lot of horror documentaries that myself and Gould would watch. Like if you ever saw like a Todd Browning documentary or
anything. They had the Bride one,
the Frankenstein Files, that one was
Invisible Man one. Like there were all sorts of any documentary you knew about Universal monsters, the old classics.
Yeah, dude.
He was in.
The guy was just an encyclopedia for classic horror, and he did respect modern horror too to an extent. So he definitely was all around. But we just wanted to tribute him. A couple of his books that I really liked. This is The Monster Show. Highly recommended if you want to learn more about who did what whenever when it comes to horror. You know, this guy knew his shit. Like he was definitely a walking encyclopedia for horror. Mm-hmm. And we got V is for vampire. V is for vampire.
I will take it.
Cheap joke, I know, but this is a good one as well. If you want to learn more about vampires in literature and film. And this is one of my favorites. The history of America's darkest holiday, Halloween. That was one of my favorites. But yeah, David J. Skull. He was definitely a scholar, a great author, and we just wanted to tribute him.
We say that he passed away in a car accident, which at 71,
very young.
It sucks. I mean, in today's standards, yeah. I mean, crazy. Mick Jagger's still going. He's got to be 112. No, but no, it was very sudden, unfortunately.
Yeah. When I heard about it, I was like, wow, really?
It was January of this year, so that's. But yeah, we always like to do these tributes to people, legends that pass.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else we lost too?
I mean, next episode we'll maybe get into some more of that.
Hopefully, there's not many more.
Hopefully,
till then, I mean, there's some bad ones to not look forward to,
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
No, we try not to.
Kanye's still alive. That's the problem.
Justin Bieber's still alive.
Yeah, that's the problem. Send him back to Canada. All right. So
we just want to tribute David J. Skull.
Absolutely. So here's a little tribute to him. Cheers. We'll be back with some Lucio Fulci.
What's going on, horror fans? As promised, this is our Lucio Fulci Director Spotlight. We haven't done one of these in a while, but being 50, episode 50, we wanted to do something special. And I can't think of anything more special than the godfather of horror.
Well, I almost... See? You take that away from Herschel Gordon Lewis. Who was the original godfather of gore?
I would have to say Herschel Gordon Lewis.
Exactly. I mean, Lucio
even though
Fulci,
they call Lucio Fulci that.
He could be the Grand Master. Let's put it that way.
That works.
I think you take a title away from Herschel, he's gonna rise from the grave and
we'll get
banned like we did for the 2000 Maniacs.
I was gonna say
the barrel rolling.
Yeah, there's some Descent into Horror Hell trivia for you.
Yeah, we got banned for that barrel rolling scene from 2000 Maniacs. That was great.
Yeah. But as promised, this is our Lucio Fulci section, so let's go. I'm just going to start out with some documentaries just to check out about the man and his life. And that is a great... Actually, I'll start with this one first.
That's the good one.
They're both good.
Yeah.
What did you say? Pura? Para? Whatever. Yeah. Lucio Fulci Remembered Volume 1. Highly recommend this documentary. Yeah, this one is...
You do need subtitles for that, as I found out.
Yeah. pretty much anything with Fulci you need subtitles for.
Unless it's overdubbed.
But you get a really good, really good collaboration of everybody talking about the man, his life, and his work in the Italian cinema. Not even just horror, but just his whole repertoire of filmography. You know.
And the guy's been everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, he started out doing comedies,
spaghetti westerns,
plays, spaghetti westerns,
TV.
Yeah, a lot of TV. Yeah. Definitely learned the tricks of the trade of the business, all the way to his giallo thrillers, and of course the horror stuff, which we'll be talking more about.
Yeah, we're gonna dabble more into the horror aspect of it.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about his. We respect his filmography, all of his filmography.
But a lot of the stuff I've never seen.
Yeah, and a lot of it isn't even released.
Right, because everybody focused on his horror, which made sense.
Yeah.
But the documentaries themselves dabble a lot into his horror and his impact on it.
And this one is one of my favorites, called Fulci for Fake, from Severin Films.
I always love that image.
Yeah.
I remember that painting I did where I made him half zombie.
Oh, yeah,
I remember doing a Fulci painting, which would have been cool.
There's actually a Lenticular cover, the first release of this. I think it's like a, what the hell you call it? One of those covers.
I don't know.
Slip covers. I can't think of the word. Slip covers, but like it moves and stuff. Whatever. This is a standard
edition. You know what
edition.
Lenticular means.
Yeah, this is cool. Fulci for Fake. If you want to learn more about his upbringing, his life, his relationships between his two daughters. I learned a lot of stuff in this documentary that I did not know. I did not know, for example, that his wife tragically killed herself. And obviously, when you go through a tragedy like that, you're never quite the same after. And Fulci never was the same after.
No. His movies reflected that in a way.
Yeah, and another thing I want to talk about once we get to New York Ripper as well is how that film, even though it's like his most disturbing film, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at his repertoire, that definitely is the movie that takes the cake as far as
violence,
obscene,
just
brutality
up
goes.
Like,
you know?
in your grill type violence. Yeah.
But you definitely learn a lot from watching this documentary on why the film is the way it is, and his respect that he had throughout the horror community and just film community in Italy. And it's really great that people like Quentin Tarantino, Killjoy, Necrophagia, many other people, Rob Zombie, Eli Roth, have definitely championed this man because he definitely deserves it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those.
I
think people really didn't get into him or understand.
I didn't learn about him until Necrophagia.
After he died. I mean, it's like you think about a great artist when they die, then their art becomes all of a sudden everybody wants to learn about it, everybody understands it or tries to understand it. Yep. Fulci's no different. He was an artist in his own time, and you're talking films that.
Was he born in 52? 51, 52?
He was born in 27.
He was only 68
he was born
when he died.
He was born in 27. But yeah, I mean, him as an artist, as a director, like a lot of his films, like really got him exiled from Italy because his early work, because of how he went about his style. I mean, we always come to watch these movies, with the up close, eye gouging.
I was gonna say eyeball violence.
He was a thing for eyeball violence.
Eyeball violence. That was a Fulci thing.
and it was always like we now understand that. Back then, it was like you didn't see stuff like that. I mean, Herschel Gordon Lewis was probably the closest you got to any like he ripped out tongues.
I was gonna say tongue violence.
Yeah, they had facial violence, but that's the stuff that was unsettling, and that's what I think made him so.
Yeah, he had so much respect throughout like I said, throughout Italy and the world beyond, like, unbelievable. So we're going to tribute this man with his films, and we're going to concentrate more on the aspects of his horror films.
Like we said, he did spaghetti westerns and stuff like that. He had 4 for the Apocalypse.
Yep.
Series, which is supposed to be 4 movies. I think was it all 4? I know he did adaptations for Jack London's White Fang.
Yep.
Which is cool.
Which I've never seen.
And then he did some kind of
Devil's Honey, Contraband.
The Extras. No. What the hell was that called? Extra something.
I know we just said it before we went on. I forgot.
It was basically like a those porno type films. So
Fulci liked the women. He liked the hot Italian women.
He was like the Russ Meyer, without the triple D's.
So we're gonna talk about his thriller, giallo, and of course gory horseshit.
The fun stuff.
Yep.
That's what we came here for, right?
So I'm gonna go first. This is one of my absolute favorite films. None of these are in any order either. I think towards we get to the end, you'll see more of the familiar films that we want to talk about more.
We'll open up with some of the lesser known ones.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a good idea. Don't Torture a Duckling. I believe 1973.
2. I think it's...
Was it 2 or 3?
72. But yeah, fuck it. That's numbers.
2. Sorry, you're right. Don't Torture a Duckling, starring Friana Balkan, who... One of my absolute favorites. She was in a movie I really like called Flava the Heretic. She was really great in that role as well.
That's a good movie.
Satanic.
Priestess,
Love that. She was also in another film we'll talk about later called Lizard and Woman's Skin. That's a good Fulci giallo. But
one of his first ones.
Yeah, this is really an amazing film. One of my absolute favorites. Really touches on a lot of taboo topics, and we're talking 72, 73. So this child violence was, you know, the PC pussy society we live in today. I don't really think a movie like this could be made, honestly. So Fulci had a lot of balls to go against the grain and make the films that he wanted to, and I think that's why he's so admired across the globe too, because he just did not give a fuck.
He was a pioneer in that.
He really was a pioneer.
You know, and like I said, Herschel Gordon was the same way. He did
George Romero.
That super violence before it really, in color, mind you.
Yeah.
It wasn't like seeing, the zombie on top of Night of the Living Dead, where it looks like ketchup. Back then.
Right.
So kind of course it was paint. But whatever.
But this movie has a great ending scene, and I got a feeling you'll probably see that later in the show.
Maybe, unless we're going to give that
away. I don't know. I think you'll see it. It's a pretty good scene. But the whole Catholic priest.
Off the cliff.
It's cat's out of the bag now.
Yep.
It's a great film. And of course I gotta say beautiful women. Beautiful women in most of his films, but this one definitely is a staple of that. Friana Balkan is great in it. She gets accused of killing these kids. And it's not what you think, but she gets cornered by the villagers and in a very brutal way gets chained to death. And what's interesting is that Fulci went back in the Beyond when Shrike gets killed for the same exact type of kill.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. A little chain violence there.
Right.
But Don't Torture a Duckling, one of my absolute favorites. Great acting, great cinematography. Definitely great. What you got, Gold?
I gotta remember when this was from 91?
1990, I believe.
1990. So that was a year off. Cat in the Brain.
Oh, yeah.
This is definitely one of those. This is his last film, I believe he did, aside from the one we'll talk about later, which he was supposed to work on. Cat in the Brain basically followed, Lucio Fulci basically had cameos, and we talked about, in a lot of his movies.
It was kind of like the Hitchcock of his day.
Wes Craven took after that, where he started being in his movies as, janitors or doctors or whatever.
What'd you call me? No, not you, Fred.
Not you, Fred. So he plays a director in this movie.
Yep.
And he starts having all these nightmares and visions that to him almost like psychotically, they become too real. And
doesn't look real enough. Get those eyeballs out of my sight.
Which is funny for him to say that. It's kind of ironic. Basically all his visions are almost kind of coming to life, and they're just not good enough, and it starts throwing him into this insanity by what movies he's making, because he's trying to bring these dreams to life, and they're just not what he wanted. But definitely, if you it kind of reminded me of Eraserhead in a way, very weird, out there.
Can't tell if it's in his mind or.
And Psycho is kind of the same thing.
He's actually lost his fucking mind, and these things. Yeah.
Yeah, and it really it's that whole downfall.
Yeah.
And the whole Cat in the Brain.
It's a good character study.
Oh,
and it stars Fulci himself, which is awesome.
That's what threw me off the first time I watched this. I was like,
Me too.
what
Yeah.
is he? Like it was so weird. Like, is he directing the
Yeah.
movie, or
Yeah.
is he directing? Like, it's like a movie within a movie.
Yep.
Great
gore.
A lot of great gore in this. I always remember the
I
guy
must
with the
say, some of
chainsaw.
these kills, like the movie that he's making at the time of this film is called Touch of Death, which we'll get into as well. But there are scenes of that film that are in Cat in the Brain, that he incorporated in Cat in the Brain. But there's also some scenes, obviously, specially shot for Cat in the Brain.
Yeah.
And the scenes that are specially shot for Cat in the Brain are incredibly over-the-top gory. Like that what is it? He's a therapist or whatever, right? Therapy. Fulci goes to him, and he turns out that he is the guy that's fucking crazy.
And I remember the courtyard with the guy with the chainsaw. Like that was that whole
Yeah.
scene where it's like driving him like crazy. And yeah, it was cool.
Definitely great hallucinations.
And it's one of those you do have to pay attention to, because there's a lot of kind of back and forth play between what's real, what's not.
When he drops the lighter too.
So it's definitely worth it. It's like you said, it's a great character study of Fulci as a person, I think, because it was
and a director.
Yeah, it was able to get kind of inside of his mind, like maybe what he was thinking, especially because it's really declining at this time, and
yeah, he knew he was on his
in
way.
real life, it was declining, and I think some of this might have been kind of that.
Yeah.
What he was going through.
Absolutely.
So definitely check out Cat in the Brain. It's a good one.
That's definitely a recommend from December. For sure. Now, a lot of people call this a Carrie ripoff. I think it's got a little bit more aspects than that. That is Enigma. This movie has one of my. It has a great scene involving killer snails. Yeah, dude, check this one out.
It's almost like Killer Slugs.
Yeah, it's got a recently really good Blu-ray release. This is the still snavy old DVD.
Severin put that one out as well, didn't they?
I think so, yeah. He usually put in a lot of his stuff, which is great. So it gives us a new audience.
Right,
you know,
especially that
check out his
Blu-ray
older
audience.
films. Yeah, check out his older films. This one I've always been a fan of. I always loved the soundtrack of this film.
That's the one thing. He was that Italian soundtracks, Mario Bava type.
Yeah. Fabio Frizzi was usually the guy who did all the Fulci soundtracks. He didn't do this one, but we'll get into that. But he always had some great cinematographers and definitely great musicians working with the score.
Yeah.
And I can't really say the greatest actors at time. I mean, I don't know. That's debatable. Katrina McCall is amazing.
It was hard.
David Warbeck is amazing.
It was hard to distinguish because when you're talking about overdubs,
El Cliver,
it takes
amazing.
away from the acting itself because you're kind of watching.
Oh, the overdubs.
Yeah,
yeah.
It makes like we talk about House by the Cemetery and
Mommy. We'll get there.
Bob.
We'll be getting there.
The overdubs kind of take away from how great these characters are. But,
Yeah.
But for the most part, there were some characters that were just like, all right.
You're gonna die soon? But a really cool story about this woman who, her first time love, pretty much gets betrayed, ends up in a coma, and all hell breaks loose. That's all I'll say. I won't give out anymore because if you haven't seen Enigma, I highly recommend this one. Really good movie, Enigma. Ooh, yo, next.
Alright. We are going to go, which is 80...
Oh, Zombie 3?
Yeah, 88. So a little bit later in the zombie films was Zombie 3, 1988. It's...
And we're not going to get into that whole Zombie 2 thing, Dawn of the Dead connection. I'm not doing that. That takes too long.
So basically, this one kind of takes place of a group of terrorists that basically leak this gas that takes over and creates these running zombies at the time, mind you, 1988.
Yeah, 28 days later, way before you.
Yeah, but I mean, even Return of the Living Dead had kind of running zombies in a way. But
And Berto Lenzi, Nightmare City too.
yeah. So basically, then Kenny and Patricia? Like they end up in this hotel, and they kind of gotta survive. You know how to, basically, survive the zombie apocalypse. Great kills in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Always good gore when it comes to any Fulci zombie type movie.
I like the DJ too. I forget his name. He's like, "This is the apocalypse, people." He keeps playing all those songs. It's cool.
So it's kind of an apocalyptic type film. But yeah, definitely check out Zombie 3, 1988.
Don't forget the kung fu zombies. Zombies doing kung fu's, and like, there's one guy that does one zombie that does a clothesline, like a Bradshaw clothesline from hell.
Clothesline from hell.
Yeah.
That's right. It's been a while since I've seen that.
By the way, Zombie 3, Fulci was sick, and he was initially supposed to direct it, but Bruno Mattei came to the rescue,
That's
basically,
right.
and finished the rest of the film. So you kind of got two visions.
You
You can see the Fulci part, but you can definitely see the Bruno Mattei take on it as well. So it's kind of like two movies.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. This one's really cool. House of Clocks. I've always enjoyed
I've
this
never
one.
seen that one yet.
This is one of his better made-for-TV movies. Towards the end, he started making more TV movies for Italy. I said Italia. For Italy. And House of Clocks is really good gore. For a TV-made movie. El Cliver is absolutely amazing. We'll talk more about him later. But yeah, really good concept. These old people in this mansion aren't what they seem, let's just say that. And of course there's these bandits that are on the run that want to pretty much burglarize this...
Burglarize?
Yeah, fuck you. This old couple, take their diamonds and money and all that shit. But it definitely backfires, and it has a lot to do with a lot of supernatural elements, and I would highly recommend House of Clocks. Really cool movie.
Definitely not one.
There's a scene where this chick gets this spear or whatever right through the crotch. Oh my god! Made for a TV movie? Are you really?
Yeah. TV was different.
Damn, Fulci.
TV was different back then, for sure. All right.
Good stuff.
Speaking of Bob.
Oh no.
The House by the Cemetery, right here.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're wearing.
So this was 1981.
Yep. That's one of his favorites.
Yeah, this one definitely is. It really, I mean, the shock at the end is, I think, more like when you actually really see Freudstein.
Oh yeah, dude. Never forget that.
Before that, it's kind of more of a like Psycho type thing. Like he's just kind of there. He's in the basement, and
I've heard somebody compare it almost to a slasher too, which
in a way
has a bit of elements for that. But yeah,
there's kind of this deep story where Bob starts seeing this little girl, and she keeps telling him not to go into this house, and it's foreshadowed in that picture that Bob's looking at, and he sees her in the window.
Eerie, dude. That's eerie as hell.
And then his mom doesn't see her, and basically, Bob kind of, in a way, has an imaginary friend, this girl, and yeah, she just kind of keeps telling him like, don't go in the house, don't live there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, if you haven't seen House by the Cemetery, it's one of those movies where it's actually done really well that it actually goes by pretty quick.
That's a fun watch.
That housemaid that they got that the lady sends over, Anne.
Yeah. The greatest part of that movie, well, not the greatest part, but the funniest part, I guess, is when Katrina McCall's character comes in the kitchen, and this is when the night before the housekeeper died or whatever, where Dagmar Lansler, I believe her name was, Dagmar,
yep,
which is a Fulci favorite victim. She dies. She horribly gets mutilated, but the next day, Anne is cleaning up the blood.
Yeah.
And Katrina McCall's character comes in the kitchen.
And it's all clean.
What are you doing, Anne? I made coffee. And that's it.
Yeah. There's
a huge blood stain on the fucking floor. I made coffee.
Freudstein just keeps like dragging bodies, which I still never figured out how they got those damn floors so clean when he murders somebody and then he drags them across the floor. It's like,
How the hell did you get the wood so clean? Like, you know?
There is. I did some research on House by the Cemetery, and a lot of it is interpretation through Bob's eyes. It's through what he sees, and what he sees isn't exactly real. So it's kind of like this is what almost did happen, if that makes sense. But I like to think that it did happen.
Well, at the ending's kind of odd.
Yeah, when he comes up,
and then the girl, and then the mom, or Freudstein's wife, I believe, that was supposed to be dead. Basically walks them into like the house the way
There'll
it
be
was.
another guest soon.
And
you want to be a Freudstein.
And it was just kind of like anticlimactic because you don't really know what happens to Freudstein. And honestly, it's a crime that Freudstein didn't have more screen time. Really just...
But the kills, dude. My God.
Anne's head bouncing down the stairs.
Mommy, we have to go rescue Anne!
God damn it, Bob.
Let's talk a little bit about Gino Rano di Verazzi's work. Now, Fulci, stable of gore for sure. Like, he was all over Fulci's earlier films. Definitely the ones that we all talk about. Definitely like the Italian Tom Savini, which he's been coined as, really rightfully so. Made some amazing scenes in Fulci films.
And effects,
and
for sure.
House by the Cemetery, that scene where the father's throat gets ripped out.
Yeah.
Downstairs, oh, that's amazing. And of course, you can't go without mentioning the bat, the devil bat.
Oh, when he's trying to like...
yeah, he's trying to get it off him, stabbing the shit out of the bat.
And that thing's just like, you can see it's just like puncturing like, in the skin. It was really cool. It's like, damn.
House by the Cemetery is one of my absolute favorites. As far as atmosphere goes, it's actually legitimately a terrifying film, honestly. It really
the
is.
soundtrack's great. And literally those shots when you see outside the house and then you see there's a cemetery like in the yard, like the front yard.
And when Dagmar runs over the tombstone, damn tombstones!
It's definitely, and plus the seclusion in this house is in the middle of nowhere. It's out in the woods.
Yeah.
And it's like fall,
it's
winter
like Boston,
time.
isn't it? Boston,
yeah.
On the outskirts of Boston, because they came from New York.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's got atmosphere. No,
Definitely atmosphere. Definitely atmosphere. This movie personifies horrific atmosphere, gore, just...
It's definitely
Fulci personified.
And it's definitely a well-made film. I mean, the house itself is beautiful. And then she finds, you know, the door that basically... Now, how Bob fit through an opening the size like this makes no damn sense. But, you know, it is what it is.
And when Katrina McCullough goes down the stairs and her cheeks, like, hitting the stairs. Mommy! Mommy! Oh, my God.
Yep.
That's just one of those scenes. Holy shit.
So, definitely...
We can talk for hours about House by the Cemetery. It's one of our favorites.
One, so, all right. What do you got?
We shall talk about Murder Rock. Right after House by the Cemetery. No, New York Ripper, I believe. This is one of Fulci's New York movies. He's big into New York, like Manhattan Baby, New York Ripper, and then Murder Rock.
He said he fell in love with the city when he visited there.
Oh, yeah,
which made perfect sense back then,
Yeah. And the architecture and stuff. Of course, the 42nd Street. It's like going downtown at that time. It's gone now, but back then it was nothing but like sleaze and porn and the worst characters you never want to meet on Dark Alley.
Which is what you see in New York Ripper, which we'll talk about.
Yep, it's coming up. But Murder Rock is cool. It's about this. It's basically, this movie's really not talked about a lot, and I think it's good. The soundtrack, all I can say is 80s. Total 80s. Holy shit. Like
synthy.
The Susan Summers style, like workout shit, and the music. And
he did have a lot
of
that.
I don't know.
He did have a lot of that style in those movies from New York, though.
Yeah, yeah.
He had a lot of that upbeat kind of synth dance music. Richard Simmons would be proud.
A bit like a Giallo, where there's this killer going around sticking female breasts with this pin over and over again. It's pretty brutal, man. And of course, the police detective on the trail of the killer, and you got to find who the killer. Plays a little bit like a Giallo, honestly.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, Murder Rock's cool though. I'd check it out.
What year was that? 83?
Came out right after New York Ripper, so 83. Yes.
Okay. It was. I mean, they actually put out pretty decent movies year after year, even a couple.
Oh yeah, dude. He was on a fucking roll in the 80s, dude.
Yeah. Late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, after he put out Zombie, he was on a roll.
All right, we're in 1979. We're going back a little bit. His original Zombie.
Speaking of,
this movie is like,
oh man,
you know, this really made what. So when you didn't have zombie films, I mean, you had Tombs of the Blind Dead, you had Night of the Living Dead, you had Days of the Dead.
Let's
Day of
Sleep
the
Corpses
Dead
Lie.
But like this, really like transcended what people really assume zombies were. Zombies kind of were almost like foreshadowing for being like supernatural in a way. I mean, George Romero's original Night of the Living Dead was obviously flesh eaters, but what Fulci did with zombies
Kind of took the Jack Turner's I Walk with the Zombie a little bit.
Yeah,
like the voodoo mentality.
Right, white zombie stuff like that, and turn it and you put it on this island.
Matul.
And, obviously everybody knows this, the eyeworm zombie that rises up and just takes a big chunk out of her neck.
Yeah, it's pretty much everywhere. It's even on my fucking hat. Yeah, it's everywhere, man.
So it's like
on the door, you can't see.
That scene alone, I mean, the music and, I mean, it really did open up, I think, a lot of that gory, being able to see it in color type stuff into the 80s. And, you take a lot from that.
Yeah.
The soundtrack is obviously very known.
Fabio Frizzi.
And Ian McCulloch, not Ian Malcolm.
Fuck you, Ghoul.
There's some more trivia for you.
Yeah, you watch her back catalog, you'll see.
Tisa Farrow, which is Mia Farrow's
And she just
mom.
passed away.
She did.
Not too long ago. Rest in peace.
So Tisa Farrow, that's another one that's true.
Yes.
So yeah, it this definitely, Zombie Holocaust came a little bit later, and that kind of was another film that really showed Fulci's
He has the exact
style.
same barn, or the church that's burning at the end.
Yeah, and I mean, I always thought the zombies were cool looking.
Oh, dude, the best.
Yeah.
This and Burial Ground are the best looking fucking zombies ever. They got worms and maggots and shit crawling on them.
Yep.
Through the eyes. I'll never forget the fucking first time I saw a zombie, and that zombie rose and bit that chick's neck and just rips it out.
Yeah.
Like, before that, you saw Friday the 13th and, Tom Savini stuff, which is brutal in itself.
It's a
But when you
slasher,
actually,
though.
the first time you actually see A House by the Cemetery or Zombie or Beyond or whatever, and you actually see the Italian gore, like Gino Rossi's effects, ripping that fucking, throw it out in the
And you
blood.
just hear that, and it's just, it was like the Beyond, too, when Emily gets bit by...
Amazing.
It's just the same thing. It's so, over the top, but it's so good. So
It's
definitely
just
check out, if you guys haven't seen it, you're living under a rock, but definitely check out Lucio Fulci's
I'm pretty sure if
1979
you're watching
Zombie.
this show, you've seen Zombie.
So, that's
And I just gotta say, Shark vs. Zombie is one of the best fucking scenes.
My God.
In cinematic
How they planned
horror
how they
history.
did that.
It was. I heard it was a drugged captive tiger shark. Tiger shark.
It was tiger. Oh what?
So
all right, Jaws. No.
But it was
Wrong
a captive tiger shark or a drug tiger shark,
Yeah.
and that's how they did the scene. But if you watch that fucking scene to a T, there is actually a fucking shark wrangler dressed as a zombie with a fucking beautiful naked woman with nice breasts, all in the same scene with a real shark.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know this, but when the tiger shark is coming to attack the zombie, there's actually another tiger shark you don't see circling.
Oh.
Yeah, so they were being surrounded by tiger sharks, which
Yeah.
is interesting. Like, that took some fucking balls, dude.
That's
real. That's not
Right.
that's not fucking CGI, dude. That is real shit from '79.
Yep.
That scene, I know Kirk Hammett of Metallica says that's one of his favorite scenes in horror too. And
The ship can leave now. Tell the crew.
yeah, man, zombie. We
Classic.
can talk for hours about zombie.
On to the next.
The Psychic.
I love that cover, by the way.
Yeah, dude. If you're a fan of Edgar Allan Poe, you're definitely gonna love The Psychic. Definitely straight out of Edgar Allan Poe. That's all I can really say. Jennifer O'Neill's acting is so amazing. She's such a great presence on screen, and she's also really good eye candy, I must say. But the scene where they're boarding up the body
Bricking
up the body.
up.
Yeah.
It's like that cask of Amarillo or Amatorello.
It's really
That's where that's from.
based on the Black Cap Edgar Allan Poe story. But not a lot of gore that you would expect in a Fulci movie, but this is his early runs, you know what I mean? So this is definitely a staple of his Giallo catalog, I would say. And The Psychic, definitely check it out. It's newly released Severin release.
Still good? Perfect.
Just
Sorry, we gotta check
just
on the
checking
battery.
camera.
Here. That's what our camera lady's here for.
And by the way, this is a good time to go to a kill, so roll it.
Cheers.
You're like all the rest of them, young and beautiful and healthy. Well, I rot to death in bed in a lousy, stinking hospital.
We are back. What's going on? Hope you're enjoying the show thus far. Special Lucio Fulci tribute. Long overdue.
A long overdue one. I know we've done Toby Hooper, Wes Craven.
Yeah.
August,
yeah, we did
Vogel.
Fred Vogel, actually.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're...
Go back in the archives on YouTube and the page and check out some of our past fucking disaster pieces. Hope you enjoy them.
Yeah. Nice Slipknot reference.
But continuing with that, we have Manhattan Baby. Now, let me tell you something. This movie... Okay, a lot of people shit on Manhattan Baby, okay?
Rightfully so.
Yeah, Manhattan Baby shit is what they call it.
Baby shit, yeah.
But, I must say, the first time I watched this movie was on VHS. It was really cloudy, fucking, really grainy, shitty, which was cool, but it was cut to fucking shit.
Yep.
You know, it just wasn't, you didn't get the bird scene with the, taking out the the eyes again, you know, taking out the eyes and shit.
It was like a trademark.
But when you watch this Blue Underground Blu-ray, try saying that fast 7 times.
Blue Underground Blu-ray. It's a good one.
Manhattan Baby's pretty cool. It's got a little bit of an Exorcist possession type feel to it. Killer birds, fucking just an amulet. Just
an amulet.
Give me the amulet, you bitch! Wrong movie.
Monster Squad.
Yeah, we're not gonna go there. Manhattan Baby's cool. I would check it out if you're a Fulci completist. You know, it's nothing. It's not on par with, you know, some of the movies that we'll be getting to, obviously. Right. But Manhattan Baby, shot in New York, obviously. Manhattan.
Duh.
Yeah. But, pretty cool. I enjoyed it for what it is. Manhattan Baby. And like we said, Fulci appears in a lot of these movies. Like, he pulls a total Hitchcock, you know, which is kind of cool seeing him. What you got, Go?
We are going to 1982, probably one of the most
Jesus H. Christ, Chief.
films, New York Ripper.
God. Yeah.
So this one, obviously, another New York film. This is like Fulci was very based on.
I'm gonna let you take this one.
So a psycho is on the loose. That sounds like Donald Duck. Alright, anyways. So detectives try to figure out, like, who this guy is. It is a very...
Oh my god.
So it takes kind of place, I guess, like the red light district in a way.
Yeah, 42nd Street.
Yeah, in New York, where it's a lot of porn stores and...
Not anymore, but at the time of it.
At the time, yeah. And there's this killer that's on the loose and brutally is murdering women and basically cutting them from their vagina up.
Growing to gullet.
And,
Candyman style.
And one of the cool scenes was actually one of the first kills in the movie where that girl gets trapped in
I like the
car.
dog bringing the fucking severed hand to that. Such a good boy. Such a good boy. You got it. Brings a severed fucking arm.
And then the guy just...
That face, these guys like... Holy shit!
And they got that Fulci like zoom in on the face.
Oh
like,
yeah.
real slow, like...
And the hands like all decayed and shit.
So basically, yeah, it's... What's kind of cool is it's a real kind of twists and turns. So the guy you think is doing it because they talk about the guy with 3 fingers.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And realistically, throughout the movie, it actually makes sense it would be him, the killer. But it's stuff that is planted on earlier in the movie that, if you really think, when you think about it later in the movie, you kind of go, oh yeah. like the girl, her boyfriend, when she has that dream that he murders her in the theater.
Yeah, and the knife hits
the stone.
Yeah.
On the wall.
Yeah.
And then she finds out it's her boyfriend that is murdering her in her dream, and she brings that up. Now that's obviously foreshadowing. Now I probably gave it away, but hey. But yeah, it really does a really good job at like that twist and just makes it like, oh shit, that's not who I thought it was. And then you could almost think it was the gay doctor. You know, the one that doctor. Remember he's buying those gay magazines at the newsstand?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, have a good night, sir. So he tucks the magazine from like Toy Toys. And,
oh
yeah. I thought it could have been him.
There's a lot of red herrings in this movie.
Yeah. So, but yeah, New York Ripper definitely is not for the squeamish. This will make the one scene that really is kind of uncomfortable to watch is when the girl's in the bar with those Mexican guys, and he takes his foot out and he starts towing her because she has.
Gives new meaning to toe fucking.
She has a thing. I think she's just oversexed or whatever you call it.
That would say.
When she sits in the theater and they're watching people basically have sex on a bed.
Very sleazy Fulci film.
Very sleazy for sure. And this, I think, comes off that whole, like, the pornos he did. Not pornos, but they were like erotica stuff.
The eroticist is the thing.
Eroticist. That's what I was trying to say
thinking
before,
of.
and
Yeah.
I couldn't say it. But yeah, definitely got some great gore in this one as well. I thought it was really clever, though, when he called the detective about that girl, his prostitute that he slept with.
He knew entire moments.
Yeah, and like they show up at that phone booth and they finally track him, and it's literally just a radio that he's broadcasting from where the hotel is or wherever he's killing this girl.
Wasn't there a scene in Tenebrae kind of like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, similar.
Same idea, and that's Dario Argento, which we can talk about. We'll talk about coming up here, but that whole scene was just brutal because he hears this girl dying.
Oh, it's so heartbreaking, man.
And it's like, ooh. But yeah, definitely really good one. New York Ripper, 1982.
That first kill on the boat.
Oh, on the
I gotta say, the part where she's going towards the boat and she accidentally scratches the guy's car.
She runs into it.
You fucking woman!
You stupid bitch!
You stupid bitch! And then he says something. He says something like, "You're an idiot." And you're an asshole, or something like that, and she writes shithead on his.
No, she tries to. She
in lipstick.
Yeah, on the boat, she gets in that guy's car and she starts to write shit, and then the guy shows up.
Yeah, shithead, and like literally.
But it just says shit.
In the part, does it say shit?
She didn't get that far.
She didn't get to the head.
The killer showed up.
Oh yeah, dude. Dad, what a kill! Holy shit! Like when he sticks her,
just stabbing her, and just
you just see the blood. Oh my god. And you see the knife go all the way up, like Giovanni Rossi's effects.
Well, it's like the one where
unbelievable.
It's like the girl that gets killed in the
the hotel.
In the hallway there.
Yeah.
And the guy shows up and it's just like a lot of tension in that.
Unbelievable. And I must say, I mean, this is one of our favorite films, honestly. And Fulci was accused of being a misogynistic and a hater of women, which is not true at all. It's just a sign of the times. Very brutal film. Fulci hated slashers. So they pretty much came to him and said, Friday the 13th and all these American movies are doing really good. We want your version of a slasher. He's like, I hate slashers. I don't want to fucking do slashers. I'm an Italian. I'm a filmmaker.
Italian.
I'm a fucking artist, not the fucking not the piece of shit like Sean Cunningham. I'm a fucking artist. Whatever.
You're gonna toss a pizza next?
But whatever. Mario. But whatever.
So
basically, he did his version of a slasher / giallo, and honestly, kind of like Pieces, really. It's more of a giallo more than
it's a crime.
A slasher.
It's a crime trying to catch a killer.
Exactly, you're trying to catch the killer. It's not like a fucking hockey mask guy.
But I will tell you, the one scene that was just like when you realize what it was that dancer when she got done with that sex scene. He takes that broken bottle and shoves it right in her vagina and just starts twisting like.
And of course we got to say the scene where the razor blade through the nipple. Oh my god!
That and through the eye.
Cutting the nipple. Like I said, folks, this is not for everybody. This is an extreme Fulci film.
It will
this
make
is the most extreme film ever.
It will make you feel a little uncomfortable at times because of how things are being done. Like you got to realize, like this was done on 42nd Street with, sex was pretty much prevalent everywhere. But yeah, definitely check out New York. Let's move on.
Yeah, man, we could talk for hours. No, Fulci didn't, unfortunately, make this movie, but he was acquired to direct it with our Dario Argento. It was supposed to be a collaboration. The Wax Mask, I figured it'd be appropriate, even though he's technically, his spirit is in the film.
Yeah.
You can see some of his writing. I think he did write a portion of the film,
Yeah.
but Dario Argento and somebody else definitely directed this one because Fulci, obviously, for health reasons.
Couldn't do
Well,
it.
he was dead at this point, I
Yeah,
believe. Yeah.
96.
This came out in like 96, I believe. So yeah, shortly after his death.
Yep.
But a really cool version, released from the Mighty Severin films.
And that was like that was kind of supposed to be the secondary House of Wax, the Vincent Price.
Yeah,
film.
It was loosely based on the House of Wax,
Yep.
or if you really want to get technical, Mystery of the Wax Museum.
Yes. Milestone talk about.
Yep. But great film, great gore, good premise. Definitely, if you're a fan of any kind of wax museum movies, or even Tourist Trap, with
But
the
not
Carrie mannequins.
Not the remake of House of Wax, though.
Which is what it is. It's okay. I like watching.
Paris Hilton dies.
Paris Hilton dies.
That's all we care about.
But Wax Max. Wax
Max.
Mask.
Wax Max.
Have another one, Skagor. Wax Mask. Check it out. Not a Fulci film technically, but still awesome movie.
If we were
Good
one,
God,
if we were one of
talk
those
with it.
fancy YouTube channels, like there would be like 9 cuts right there.
That's one thing about the Centennial, and this is our 50th show. This is our first rodeo.
Oh,
but
man.
we've been
Still
doing this.
fuck up,
We've been
man.
doing shows for like nine years, something like that.
We
Who
still
knows?
don't care we fuck up.
But still, when we fuck up, leave it in. I don't care. It's fun.
It's okay.
Makes it real.
It's okay. People love us anyways.
What you got, Gould?
Anybody see this familiar? It's the Beyond tin that I died for.
So did I.
I killed
But
you
I had
first.
the last laugh.
Okay, so 1981's The Beyond. I don't think it needs really any introduction.
Nah.
More, it really doesn't even need to be talked about all that much. Just because it's probably his most well-known film.
Gould's favorite scene with the tarantulas because he's such a huge.
Oh, just hear that. Which actually, that scene really didn't bother me all that much. I actually thought it was really cool.
Which is surprising when you told me that because like I
Yeah.
thought for sure you'd be shitting your
No,
pants.
it really didn't bother me all that much. It is a cool scene though. Like,
Oh yeah, he falls off the ladder,
and then-
bashes his fucking head, and
he's-
all of a sudden you see these tarantulas coming.
and he's
ripping apart.
alive, and you can just see him like watching, and there's nothing he can do.
That one
about
part
it.
where the tarantula puts his fucking prong or the fucking
Fangs.
his fucking tongue and like rips it out.
Yeah, which you know
Brutal.
is kind of ridiculous.
Brutal.
But of course,
Book of
Joe
Ivan.
the plumber. That was the one scene when I first ever saw this. Like
The
when,
whole basement?
when he was in the bathtub and he just kind of like rises up. He's like, oh man, that whole scene. And then he takes again the eye, like the right through the nail. Like
I'm an old sewer rat.
oh, right.
It'll take as long as it takes.
But you know, obviously Emily and Emmett.
Oh yeah, Emily.
Emily and Emmett, right? Or what's the dog's name?
Dickie.
Dickie. I'm having a brain fart here. I thought
Dickie.
Emmett for some reason.
Attack Dickie.
And then all of a sudden he turns, and that's really sad.
Rips her throat out. Classic
Yeah.
Gianronda Rossi gore.
Yeah. And it was really sad, honestly, because Dickie was such a cute puppy.
I like Dickie.
Yeah.
Cool canine cop.
So The Beyond doesn't need much introduction, other than it's a great zombie film.
Shrike's kill in the beginning. in New
Yeah, it's
Orleans.
kind of got some paranormal aspect to it, like Ibon and things like that, which is a great band too. Well, it's not really a band; it's kind of more just. Yeah, it would be a band, I guess. Yeah, but anyways, definitely check out 1981's Fulci's The Beyond.
Definitely some great kills in that. Good New Orleans atmosphere. The whole thing with this house is built on the 7 doors of evil.
That whole basement
concept
is cool.
there.
Like it's creepy as fuck, and that whole the
basement is creepy.
The setup in the
You
beginning.
got some really bad water problems, by the way.
when they do the whole flashback to set up that movie.
Shrike. When Shrike,
right.
the painter, gets
Yep.
killed. Which, by the way, I said at the beginning of this fucking show, Farina Balkan in Don't Torture Duckling gets chained to this. Shrike in The Beyond gets the same death. But I think it's a little bit more brutal. And of course he gets acid thrown on him and
Oh yeah, it's just
melts.
melting. Yeah.
The Beyond is one of me and Ghoul's favorite films of all time.
Mhm.
Especially not even just Lone Fulci, but just horror in general.
Right.
And it's so timeless. And, you know, if you're a Fulci fan, you have got to have seen The Beyond. Otherwise you're living under a rock, literally.
Yeah.
So,
All right, what else you got? Let's move on here.
let's move on. Well, a movie, very unappreciated movie, I think, in his roster, film canon, so to speak. Voices from Beyond. I like this movie. The acting is pretty god awful. I mean, it's the whole overdub shit we've been talking about, you know.
Yeah, they don't get the right voice actors for.
Who was it? Who was it?
It's so bad.
You know, part at the end I'm talking about.
Yeah,
But
so
dude,
bad.
got some pretty good gore. I like the fact that
Yeah.
this chick is trying to find out the whole mystery behind her father's death. And his father is kind of like a billion. He's really
The
rich.
guy, yeah.
And of course, everyone's after his money. It's kind of like the whole heir to the throne, who gets the inheritance type stuff. And of course, his daughter is the one who gets the inheritance from him. But his death was under mysterious circumstances, and she pretty much tries to get to the bottom of his death. And it involves a lot of crooked characters throughout the film. A lot of red herrings, so to speak. But when
That's your favorite word, isn't it?
yeah, that's the word of the night. Shut up, fool. But for old time's sake.
Yeah.
But it's a good film, man. Really good atmosphere. I like the scene with the sword. I guess you could call them zombies because the dead pretty much
Kinda,
come
yeah.
out of their tombs and attack her, or attack him in a scene. Kind of more played out like a dream sequence, but it still counts. It's pretty cool. I like Voices from Beyond. I think this was a made-for-TV film as well. I may be wrong on that, but I know this is one of the movies towards the twilight of his career. You know, it's kind of winding down. Definitely one of an older film, one of the last films by him. But I've never seen Door to Silence, but I know this came out shortly around that time. Voices from Beyond. I'd definitely give it a shot. If you're a Fulci completist.
All right.
That deserves a good Blu-ray, by the way.
Eventually. Those Euroshock collections are always a good time, though.
Yeah.
All right, City of the Living Dead.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I'll let you
1980.
say. I'll let you say perfect.
Well, 1980. I mean, this one obviously.
This is my personal favorite Fulci film, by the way.
Obviously, this one has probably the most iconic scene, if not scenes, of Fulci's archives. Obviously, the girl looking at the priest, you know, hanging from the tree and vomiting up her insides. Yeah, just how can you not like City of the Living Dead?
The
like,
entire intestinal tract, too.
Yeah,
It never
literally
ends.
just comes out.
First the pus comes out, and you think it's gonna, okay, there's gonna be a cut. No. Just the entire intestinal tract
And it
comes
just
out.
keeps coming out.
It just
yeah.
keeps...
But like, I
Blowing
always
out.
remember that one zombie, like the lady's walking, she's trying to get in the door, and that zombie grabs the back of her head and just like pulls out that whole chunk of hair and brain. It's like, oh man, it's total Fulci. Like he just
Wasn't that Chris George's character that got his brains pulled out?
I thought it was a girl.
Was it?
Yeah, because he was all that hair and just yeah.
Brutal.
But yeah, definitely City of the Living Dead.
Oh, Chris George dies in the tomb. That's right.
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, it's basically the gateways of hell open up and comes, you know, all through the land, and it's just brutal deaths.
On All Saints Day.
And you know, the priest, you know, always shows up. Obviously, this is the one with the guy, you know, sleeping in the car and gets that really slow brain drill, like.
Oh yeah.
You know, and that whole scene.
The father's daughter.
He's so pissed off. He thinks that like he's fucking his daughter or whatever.
Yeah.
He just takes him and puts him on a table and just slides him in there.
Pervert.
But that whole scene though,
Really?
it's so drawn out.
Yeah.
And it just makes you. It's so cringy because like.
All the way through.
Just and you see that up close of the drill. And,
all the way through.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Chaz Ballin was a champion of Fulci.
Yeah,
Oh.
for sure. I mean, like I said, there's so many scenes in this movie that just... Well, it's a Fulci movie for sure.
Yeah, I'll say a little bit now. This is my personal favorite Fulci film. The whole Dunwich, we got a little bit H.P. Lovecraft going on in here in this film. Touches upon that greatly. The town of Dunwich, that scene at the bar where they think that the bartender thinks it's a truck going by and the mirror cracks. Who's having another drink? They try to totally wash it off like, you guys are scared of your own shadows because of a century or curse or something, you know? And it just comes back to bite him in the ass. Yeah. Because who would believe that the gates of hell are going to be open and the dead are going to come back, even in supernatural forms, because they can come anywhere.
Right.
They can form in zombies, but they can also be ghostly as well. Like especially Emily, you know, when she comes back, terrifying, absolutely terrifying. Definitely one of Fulci's greatest films, in my opinion.
For sure, and one of the creepiest.
Absolutely. Gates of Hell, I know it is Gates of Hell.
All right, we got a few more. We'll just kind of throw at you here.
Now this is, let's see, 1990, I believe. Demonia.
Demona.
Really good release from Severin Films. Really good nunsploitation film. Fulci didn't really dabble that much in nunsploitation, but this is definitely his foray into that genre.
Foray? Jesus Christ, what did you read a dictionary before you started this show? Get the fuck out of here. Jeez. All these big words, man.
I'm moving up, man.
Wow.
I'm moving up.
New show, new skids gore. Alright.
Good gore. The anchor scene is my favorite. Al Cliver's head on a fucking anchor. Oh, man. Doesn't get any better than that, dude.
No.
Really great score. Amazing setting, too. I love the cinematography in this film. Anybody seen Pink Floyd at Pompeii?
Yep.
That's where, I believe that's where the film was filmed at. So you got that structure with the whole...
Cool.
Yeah, really awesome. Really good movie, really good gore. I had for the longest time, I had a really shitty DVD version from Shriek Show, which I had fun with, you know. But this definitely is the way to go. The film is cleaned up, amazing transfer, really good special features on here. Demonia, highly recommended, Fulci fan for sure.
Alright, just keep bringing them up.
Alright, we're going to keep going on. Ghoul had Cat in the Brain before.
Yep.
But, I don't know if I said this before, but some of the scenes of Cat in the Brain were actually from this movie called Touch of Death. And this was always been one of my favorite. It's almost more of a black comedy gore. I mean, the chick that won't die and he tries to keep killing her and she keeps coming back. Like, he beats the fuck out of her with a lead pipe and there's blood spurting from her temple and shit. And her eyes are like fucking beat to shit. And he thinks that she's dead so he can inherit all her money because she's a widow, obviously, and he's trying to get money from all these widows, you know. But the fact that she keeps coming back to life and then he puts her head in an oven. That's a great scene. There he gets this one chick that does nothing but opera the whole fucking time.
It's so terrible.
Yeah, it is terrible. And she likes to be beaten. Like, she literally likes to be beaten.
Sadomasochist.
And she keeps fucking singing opera as he's beating the shit out of her.
That's
so it's like,
comedy.
It's fucking great, man.
Yeah, and that could be the overdubs too, but
yeah,
it's so
Touch of Death is cool. I don't think too many people talk about it,
it's
but
a fun one.
Yeah, I like it, man. It's a good black comedy, really good gore. Like I said, some of the scenes are from Cat in the Brain as well. Now we're gonna go really deep down in the vault here. Fulci, towards the end of his career, did a lot of made-for-TV movies in Italy. This is Sweet House of Horrors. Now this one, oh man, this one's kind of all over the place. I like this movie. A lot of people don't. A lot of people knock on it.
I've never
seen
the
overdubs are absolutely god awful. They're totally dreadful. Dreadful.
Dreadful.
Dreadful. Dreadful.
Absolutely terrible.
Absolute rubbish. But if you can get past that, there's a really good story about these kids who lost their parents. They were brutally murdered. We're talking brutally murdered. Holy shit. In the beginning of the film. And it's kind of a ghost type film where the ghosts of their parents come back. At first they appear in a flame, like just like a candle flame floating through the air, but then they materialize into their parents eventually. So they know, oh, that's mommy and daddy, you know. And it's kind of heartbreaking because all they want to do is see their kids again. And it is a bit touching, but the acting, some of the acting is all over the place. There's like this fucking priest who's like a / exorcist. Bring me the demon! Bring me the demon! You know, it's pretty funny. Then there's this big fat realtor guy that goes through the door, that goes through the floor because he's so fat. And then the kids are sitting there laughing. That's a great scene, too. There's a lot of good scenes in Sweet House of Horrors. Pretty brutal at times, too, but...
That's a Fulci staple.
But a really good film about bringing families together, I think. In the aftermath of human tragedy. Pretty cool. That one kind of fell through the cracks. This one I really like. David Warbeck comes back. Now, I don't know if The Beyond was before this or after.
I think it was after, yeah.
But Fulci loved working with the great David Warbeck, and this is The Black Cat. Now, this movie has gotten a lot of love recently because of a good Blu-ray, but I've been a fan of it a lot. Definitely from the Edgar Allan Poe story, the classic Black Cat.
Yep.
But
Which has had more than its fair share of reproductions.
Yeah, I mean, we had The Psychic before, too. Yep. So, Fulci was definitely a fan of Edgar Allan Poe.
Who isn't? What a horror director, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Damn.
And Patrick McGee, the great Patrick McGee from Tales from the Crypt, and of course, A Clockwork Orange, many other films. He stars in this film. And I definitely recommend this movie. Mimsy Farmer, too, from Autopsy. Shit. Elle Cliver, I forgot he was in this. Elle Cliver is a staple of Fulci films. Yep. One of his favorite to kill, you know. But the scene in the what is it, a hothouse or something?
Yeah.
Like
something like, yeah.
Yeah, and the cat fucking comes and
yep.
and claws the cables or something, so they can't get out of this room, right. And then they eventually decay when they find them.
It's been a while since I've seen this, but it's starting to ring a bell.
Stench of death just permeates the air. Yeah, the Black Cat's cool. David Warbeck, horrible death. Wow. Old David did not deserve to be clawed to death by a black cat, but anyway, it's fucking great, man.
Christopher Lee didn't deserve to die by a rock.
A bloody rock. A bloody rock. And I believe Dagmar dies in a really horrible flame. And it's really crazy when you watch the behind the scenes because she didn't know that a lot of of course, you know, in prep for scene, you know, they acted out, it's how it's going to go, but when you're working with fire, you never know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
So she was almost burned alive during the making of this. It's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think times, safety and stuff back then.
Oh, yeah. We're talking like 80s, so definitely.
Times they still had like fire suits, but sometimes people didn't want their own stunt people. And
absolutely. But The Black Cat, highly recommended. Good David Warbeck movie.
And our final...
And we didn't do these in any particular order, but I will say...
This is a classic.
Lizard in a Woman's Skin.
That was a good one. I like that one.
Skin.
It's yeah, Trey, you gotta put that duct tape
Fuck you, YouTube. Probably banned anyway. But anyway, Fulci's Giallo. Definitely started by Mario Bava. Definitely created more in the mainstream by Dario Argento. But Fulci, this is his spin on a Giallo, and what a spin it is. It really is a great film. Fiona Balkan, who was also in Don't Torture Duckling we had before, stars in this film. And it's just one of the greatest performances. A real downward spiral. Someone totally just losing it, not knowing the difference between fact and
right. It's a mindfuck.
Like, fantasy, you know?
Like, that difference...
Yeah,
understanding
it balances it really good too.
It does, yeah, for sure.
And Fulci was brought to court in this movie because there's a scene with severed dogs in a laboratory, And it was so realistic that he actually was brought to court because of it. Kind of a bit of like Cannibal Holocaust in a way.
Yep.
Where, you know,
of course, that was
Diodato was brought because they thought he killed the fucking actors, you know.
Well, but they actually did kill a turtle in that. That's
poor turtle.
Yeah.
Anyway,
soup.
Lizard in a Woman's Skin is a great giallo film. Highly recommended.
All right, there's our Lucio Fulci section. I know it was long and trying, but
we wanted to make 50 special. So.
We're gonna head out here, and then we're gonna come back and quickly do a Planets Collide. We're gonna bring that metal into the horror. Let's get it.
Fulci
Cheers.
lives. Gore forever.
You may send Mr. Fulci in now.
What are you to tell me, Doctor?
Mr. Fulci, I've seen all your films. I've read all the scripts, the screenplays, the notes. I understand now why you're in this state of confusion. Everything and anything having to do with horror is there.
But I make horror films.
What's going on, metal fans? We are Descent into Horror Hell. We are back with Planets Goddamn Collide. It's been a long fucking time.
Kirk said it better.
Yes. This is one of my personal favorites because it just combines metal and horror, music and horror, whatever your fucking preference is. And we just think that just goes like sex and wine or peanut butter and jelly, whatever. You know.
Yeah, peanut butter and jelly.
Yes, yes.
So let's get down to it. We're going to throw you guys an album that we've been listening to that we feel like you guys should check out as well. We'll kind of give you recommendations.
Absolutely.
Other bands, they kind of sound like shit like that, man. Like, let's get to it.
Shit, yeah, what you got, go?
I have a band called Necro-Occultus. From Mexico. So Mexican old school death metal. They've been around since like early 2000s. This album, I'm gonna have to read this because I don't know what this says. In Stressling the Mysterious Necrovification. I don't know. Sure, something like that.
That was amusing.
So this release came out in 2005. This was their first album, I believe. A couple of EPs before that. So if you're into bands like Sadistic Intent, Morbid Angel, stuff like that, there's some other Mexican bands which I actually personally don't know.
Oh yeah.
This was a release off Razorback Records, which is a great record label out of Illinois, I believe. They put out a lot of cool stuff like Death Curse and Orloff. Yeah.
You did the first Acid Witch too.
The first Acid Witch. So Razorback Records always puts out a lot of really independent death metal. And this one, you know, you can definitely tell it's got that old school death metal sound to it. Really guttural vocals, almost thrash metal in a sense. Like they bring this different sound to it. Now what I love about this band and this album in particular is that everything isn't so over-polished. Like I think a lot of death metal is nowadays. Everything sounds so perfect.
Everyone's got to have a click track or something.
This thing is, it's almost black metal in a sense.
Raw,
just
man.
very raw.
Yeah.
But it's still it's still produced pretty well. But it's kind of in that vein. If you like death metal, where your double kick drums are going like 90% of the time 100 miles an hour. It's not grindcore. Don't get me wrong. It's not that. But Necro-Occultus is a great band. I think you guys should check them out. I think you'll really dig them if you like that kind of raw death metal. So.
Yeah, dude, he played that for me.
We did jam it before.
We did this and, yeah, I'm fucking sold for sure.
It's good shit.
I'll be on the lookout for that. What's the band called?
Necro-Occultus.
Necro-Occultus. That'll be an easy one to remember.
So
all those necro and acid bands are always good,
Pretty much.
And Witch.
And Witch.
My band, no different, really. I've heard about these guys through Ghoul. He played them for me one time. I was sold, bought the fucking album. Hymns for the Wicked by Florida's Druid Lord. I fucking love this goddamn band. It incorporates everything I love about extreme metal, doom death, with horror.
With horror, yep.
Now they got a fucking song called Barren Blood. I'm a huge fucking Mario Bava fan. Absolutely.
Great
So
movie.
these guys have a complete, utter fucking good handle on the horror genre,
sure.
mixed with their unique style of doom.
Even the
metal.
artwork is all very
Yeah, dude.
horror-oriented, and
Yeah.
it's cool.
Fucking very
Peter
badass.
Slade, Tony Black, like, all great guys. We have them on Facebook, and some of the shit that they post is great. Like, they're I found out, not to interrupt, but like,
No, dude, it's cool.
Those guys always, like, in a personal life, they never take themselves too seriously, which kind of reminds me of us. Like, they're always joking around.
Or Acid Witch, they have fun with their music.
Yeah.
You know.
That's kind of how we are. So I figured, like, this kind of band, I think,
Absolutely.
it's a lot like us.
But myself and Go are real big fans of doom metal. Doom death, really. This is what the genre is. There's so many damn genres.
Yeah.
But doom death is cool, man. Like, it's just got that heavy end fucking guitar. It just goes right through you. And you mix the horror elements with a band like Druid Lord or Catacombs or Hooded Menace, Moss, Acid Witch. The list goes on, man.
Yep.
Night Hag. Druid Lord is website one of my favorites. Check them out if you haven't. They have a. I know they have a couple other albums. I think they're on Hell's Headbanger now.
Now they are. Yeah.
Are they? Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think Relics of the Dead. No, am I thinking Relics?
Yeah, Relics of the Dead is on Hell's
not
Headbanger. Yep.
Yep.
But this is a pretty badass album, man.
They don't put out bad music. That's
No.
for sure.
Hymns for the Wicked. If you are a fan at all of extreme metal and horror, check these two cats out, man.
Necro Occultist. I'm not going to say the name, but there you go.
And Acid Witch. And Acid Witch.
Check out
too.
Acid Witch.
Fuck yeah, check out
Why
Acid
not?
Witch.
All right, guys, we're gonna get back. We're gonna wrap up the show. Always horror and metal.
Metal and
Always
horror
good one, too,
forever.
so cheers. All right, boys and ghouls, that wraps up episode 50 of Descent into Horror Hell. We thank you guys so much for supporting, doing anything. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Just keep up on everything that's going on with us on Facebook and shit like that.
Give us a shout out. Tell us how we're doing.
Definitely comment on videos. Do all sorts of shit, man. Like, we don't do this for a living. We do this for the love of the genre. And,
Absolutely.
Trying to do something different because we're a bunch of bozos that have nothing better to do with our time. So, with that being said, we're grabbing. Oh Jesus, we're grabbing the diva of the hour. With that being said, I am your man Ghoul. This is
Skidgore,
and you have been watching
Descent into Horror
Fuck
We'll
neighbor.
see you next time.
Gore forever.